So I had recently seen this interview with Tia Mowry, and she's been, in feeds for a while now, at least from what I've been seeing. And I never really pay close attention to it, but after the 20th time seeing it, I went ahead, I clicked on a video. Now, it was an interesting interview, and something like caught my attention, and she's basically saying that you guys, like, because she's in the dating world now, if you don't already know, she had divorced, and Corey Hardrict, and she divorced him. I'm finding out now because she was quote unquote unhappy. She basically was like, she's shocked by the dating world. Even the interviewer was like, yeah, he'd been single for 5 years. And then she says something interesting. She says, men just wanted like things quick, and they look at themselves as the prize, that's basically what the interviewer has said. And she, agreed with it tremendously. It's just very interesting because of where she grew up. Her generation is completely different, obviously, and she grew up in a time where there was courtship, okay? Because she said it herself out of her mouth. She said she was used to being courted, okay? And I basically, just so that I could have some more substance on this, I just went in to read up a little bit more about this. And basically, Corey Hardrict had, courted her for like 8 years or something like that. I think I saw somewhere where they didn't even kiss until a year later. And things are much faster paced now. It's turned into this instant gratification nation. I had even made a video about how I just typed in a girl's name on just a girl's name, because I was looking up something completely and totally different. But I was bombarded with ass pics and grinding. It was crazy. Like, it's just, you can't really, everything is all about sex. So it was just so interesting that she said that, because women, if the way that you put yourself out there is the way that you are going to be received. You put things out there is the same is what you're going to get back, okay? And a lot of women, they'll think they hit the lottery because they look a certain type of way, and they're posting these pictures and they're doing these things. Yes, you can be very blessed in the looks department, but it also can be your curse if you're manipulating it, you're misusing it, and essentially playing yourself. Because if you look at Tia Mowry and how everyone's saying how, and now that I see what's going on, I totally agree. Okay. We don't know everything that's going on behind closed door, but this is out of Tia Mowry's mouth. Like, she says she left because she was just unhappy. And there was some financial things that here and there, as far as she didn't say out her mouth, but basically insinuated, saying that she's basically the breadwinner in the relationship. And it's just so interesting because, in my opinion, I don't think that's grounds to leave your whole marriage, okay? There are women that get their ass beat for years, okay, and still stay in marriages, still stay with families because of the kids or whatever the case is. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying, stay in a toxic relationship where your life is at risk. No, I just think that she let it go way too easy. Look at what's going on right now. She's put herself back into the dating pool, and a lot of things have changed. Women, are able to say, you need to pay $1,000 to be around me. And it's just crazy because it has created that instant gratification, to humans, to dating. If you look at the microwave, I think it was introduced in like the 1960s or whatever the case is. Before that, people were using their ovens or stovetops or whatever the case is. Then you have this thing where you can just press the button and bam, 2 minutes later, now no one wants to heat their stuff up in the oven anymore because it takes too long. Okay, no one, nowadays wants, not no one obviously, but more and more people are not really, desiring to really be in a relationship because of how toxic the dating pool is. It's crazy. Women are all about money. They just want money, and they're willing to do anything or say anything. There was a clip that I saw on Instagram. Basically, his name's Quavo, and that's his name, Quavo. He's basically on this, I think it's like rappers and, just random women. And the woman comes up, and of course, because he's famous and he has money, she's like immediately just ready, talking about sucking and all of this other stuff. And it's just like, it comes to a point where it's you become an object, you become a thing. Okay, if you look, marriage is on the decline, and because of all of these promiscuous women and these women ready to just throw anything at, you know what I mean, it gives men so many options. There may not be good options, but they see how women move. Okay, there are women out here who are just not loyal. There's no loyalty, and that's why it's just so important to understand. Not to say that guys don't do that too, but with women being as thotty and easy as they are now, it takes away from the excitement. It takes away from the excitement, and just to know that they can get it. They can get anytime they want. It's just a wham bam thing. It's just interesting that she said that, and that's why you really have to set yourself apart as a woman, because and these are things I wish I knew when I was coming into adulthood. Is okay, be different. Really think about what you want. If you truly, which I hope you do, having a husband must be an amazing thing, to have stability, to have love, to have real companionship, right? But a lot of these women, they're like wasting away their prime years. Okay, you 18, 19, 20, those are your prime years. Okay, and honestly, I wish I would have just stayed a virgin. I lost my virginity late in the game, but even that was still too early to me. Like, you want to save that special thing for your husband. That's just my 2 cents on that. But you could just see it, and as women basically are setting themselves up as objects, they're also playing themselves, because there's this AI model, okay, and in many of the pictures you can tell that is kind of like this, something seems superficial or not natural about it, but she's amassed I think it's like over 200,000 followers. And how she came about was this guy, I don't know who it is, but it's just this guy or this that runs a company, and he uses human models, but he said he got tired. He said he got tired of dealing with obnoxious women, because a lot of these women, they have super inflated egos and are not egos and aren't humble, because if they're able to live off of men through their bodies, through acts, or whatever the case may be, and they have these attitudes or whatever. Okay, so he basically went to artificial intelligence, y'all, and she got a ton. It got a ton of followers, a ton of likes, and get this, it also has an OnlyFans. Like, people know, you'll see in the comments, this is not real. Okay. And it goes to show that if you as a woman are setting yourself up and your value is strictly just your looks, and you're presenting yourself as an object, you are replaceable. Really think about that. If you think about like all these celebrities, and like, what's to stop them from doing that? Like, if you really think about it, you haven't seen, not that I don't celebrate none of these celebrities, but just think about it. You've never seen this person in person, unless you like actually pay for like a concert or something like that. But let's say you didn't, but you listen to their music, you listen you know, you watch their Instagram or whatever the case is. That's all digital. So in reality, what's to stop them from creating digital celebrities? Okay, you don't even have to have inconvenience human of a boss chick. Okay, you can just type, and I've seen videos, okay, on teaching people how to create AI Instagram models. So it really shows that, you know, if you, that's the value point that you're putting yourself at, you're replaceable easily. You know, and it even reminds me of this song that I forgot. It's old song, probably like a decade old. And you know, it's like talking about strippers basic, and he's like, oh, I forgot your name, but you know, I just remember you by your whatever the case is, and calls her female dog, whatever the case is. And I remember having this conversation years ago with an old friend, and I was like, yo, doesn't that hurt their feelings? Like, dag, like, you know what I mean? You're no better than a chair, because a chair is an object. Okay, what do you need an object for? What do you need the chair for? You know, to take a load off, right? But the fact that he's saying, you know, I don't even know your name, you are stripper, that is the object. That is, you are an object that is supposed to entertain me, and whatever the case is. And if, you know, some strippers, or I don't know the statistic, they do the extra. And, you know, just like how the chair, you take your load off, you know, the stripper will be a place for you to dump your load. You know what I mean? It just is not a good life. That's not a good life. You have to really be mindful about how you present yourself, okay? You can't be mad. Like, if you put up a billboard and with your number on it, advertising something, you can't be mad when you get phone calls, okay? You can't be mad when you're treated a certain type of way. It's just like, I mean, women, they are, but it goes to show, like, you know, unless you have some other substance, real substance, because your physical appearance has nothing to do with what's on the inside, okay? I've met plenty of people who their insides do not match their outsides. They are completely just, you know, whatever the case is, right? And you know, it's important to work on from within. Seek God, seek the Lord, and, you know, really get peace. And, you know, some great sources for that too is Mark the Messenger. They be talking about truth, New Breed, talking about the truth, because, you know, a lot of women, many women, I don't know the statistic, but it's looking bad based on how the dating world is. Those are some of the symptoms of feminism, of toxic femininity, of, you know, women not valuing their virtue, okay? Because there was even this video that I saw where this woman wouldn't let her kid's father see their daughter because the girlfriend was in the seat and she was calling her ugly. And it's like, girl, it's not all about looks. It's not. And I mean, the girl wasn't even that doesn't even matter. It's the fact that, you know, you're basing everything on looks, and that obviously didn't keep your man. You know what I mean? Like, your man, it didn't keep him around. There has to be something more. Women, you need to humble yourself. Yes, you could be super gorgeous, but at the end of the day, vagina is not going to keep any man. It's just not, because there's so much of it. There's so much of it. And according to Tia Mowry, these men they can easily get access to it, and she's experiencing that, and that's something to learn, okay, as a woman. And it's like, if you're not putting in the effort to try to build yourself and not focus on everything just looks, and basing your whole quality of life off your looks. I remember when I used to work door to door, I had met this girl. You meet all different people, different walks of life. And, you know, I mostly worked around a ton of men, but just to be able to work around a girl was nice. At least I thought. But I noticed that she had a very strong attitude, which I was used to with women, and I'm still used to with women, especially now more so. Haven't had good experiences with Eve, but he basically, I did notice she had like a little, well, not a little, but a scar on her face. And of course, I overheard the guys that were in the van because it was the team leader or whatever the case is, whoever was driving out to the field that day. And basically that was his baby mom. I don't know if they were still together at the time, but he goes on to be he goes on to just, somehow I'm hearing about the story. He wasn't actually there, so just scratch that. Somehow I hear about this. The others had worked with her before, and basically they were saying how confident she was and how bad she was, and basically saying how she lost all her confidence because she had gotten into a car accident, okay, and it scarred her face. Now, to me, this woman was still, obviously a beautiful woman, yes, a scar, okay? But it just goes to show, like, how you could just, she was one of those girls. I could tell just based off of different things, just based off of how she was moving and based off of what I had heard. She just didn't seem like this happy, like, not to say that you have to be this extremely happy, energetic person, but she just had a continuous attitude, not even attitude, but like just a bad energy to her was hurting. I don't know. I just feel like people's emotions, and that's just how it felt. And it's just so interesting because you don't want to put your whole situation, because she was just in her own head. To me, it wasn't that crazy, like, but you could tell, like, when someone just puts it on a pedestal instead of working on something else. Now that happened, it's just like, now your whole life, it doesn't mean anything, and you just walk around moping. Really think about that, because a lot of these women you confusing with love. Just because someone wants to penetrate you does not mean they want to dive deep into your feelings. They want to dive deep into who you are and your persona or anything like that. It just means that they find you attractive, something about you attractive. And it doesn't even have to be everything, okay? They could find one asset they like about you, or whatever the case is, and run with it, okay? And that's just what it is. So you really have to really seek God, okay? Because He is wisdom, and really get edified through Him so that you can have that discernment, okay? Because just take it to God, okay? But value your virtue.